What's up, everybody? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block, Boss Rush Games' official Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is that retro code, Eddie V.
Welcome to Boss Rush Games.
Hello, Ed, everybody. We're back.
It is alive. It is out there.
Yeah. So we've been playing around with this for a while, and people kept finding it on Twitter and YouTube. Our YouTube page says it and everything. And, you know, I was moving last weekend, which is why we had a giant Pow Block episode last week. So question block episode, I should say. And I was just like, you know what, Ed, I want you guys to talk about it. And, you know, I wanted the three of you to kind of give me an idea of what you guys wanted to do. And I know Ray had some last minute things pop up, but, you know, you and Jesse kind of talked about it, and it's out there. Boss Rush Games is now the new home of Nintendo Pow Block. We are going to kind of, like I said, reformat the show a little bit, kind of retool it to fit what we aim to do with Boss Rush Games. You know, Nintendo Pow Block has been around the block, as they say, a couple times. So, yes. You know, it's official. We are now part of Boss Rush Games. So, Ed, how do you feel about it? How are you feeling, since we haven't really, like, we've talked and we've chatted in the chat, right?
Yes.
But we haven't really had a real discussion about this, like, in terms of like how we really feel about what we're doing, and you know, the refocus of Pow Block and the new focus on Boss Rush, kind of evolving from the NX project and Codename NX and all that stuff. So how are you feeling?
Well, first of all, I'm relieved. We finally got the name out. The team and I, we, you know, individually celebrated that it's out there, because you know, sometimes when a new product is out or something like really new is out, it's a sign of relief, because you just been holding it in, or you've been worried how things turn out. But it looks like the direction that we're going is very positive. You know, we got a lot of ideas that we want to incorporate, and, you know, we, like you mentioned, Corey, podcasting is one of our strengths. So we want to continue to deliver that content, but we want to expound on more stuff. Like, you know, when you guys will see this when you watch the NX show. Currently now the Boss Rush Game show or podcast. I talked about how each individual of us, we're strong. You know, whether we're by ourselves or definitely when we're together. Like, you do the production. Jesse is great with music. You know, I do my writings and my features, and, you know, a lot of hosting and stuff like that. Ray, he does the streaming. Like, we all come from different areas, but when we get together and we work on something, we make this content and stuff. It's so good, so cool. And I'm excited because all of us have a vision for Boss Rush Games or BRG. We all want to make sure that we bring out the best, whether it is professional or a little in the works of things. But we all have a passion, and we all are united and driven to really make this something, you know. And it took years for us to get to where we're at. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely excited for where we're going, what the future holds for us. We are all on the same level. We get everybody. We have great discussions, whether we agree or disagree about anything. I'm just happy that I get to work with a team that's like focused and that's driven, and that have a heart. And regardless of what it turns out to be in the future, all four of us and more have come together to make something greater. You know, boss rush, if people don't know, is that you continue fight these main things, these main bosses at different levels, but you know, just fight them over and over, and that's the whole game. And for us, you know, there's so much stuff that we're going to attack, and we're going to overcome, and it's going to be hopefully content after content after content that people do enjoy.
I feel like, you know, just playing off the boss rush thing you were just saying, like I feel like ever since we started Pow Block, essentially, right? Like seriously, since we started Pow Block, like on DNA and you know, through the stuff that we did for Nerds Gone Rogue, and now the NX project, and now into Boss Rush, like I feel like we've been powering through these hurdles for a while, right? Like,
yes,
you know, you always feel like we do kind of have these hurdles, and you know, there's been people who have listened to us since the beginning, right? People who have stuck with us and moving through, and people like, we brought Pow Block back because people wanted it back, right? Like I'll have to send you some of the comments that we got, like when we ended Arsenal X and Pow Block and turn it into the NX show, right? Like, so like, not that people weren't listening to the NX show, but people were mad that Pow Block was ending, right? And you know, we were still talking about Nintendo, and we really kind of did it as like a time saver thing, and we wanted to have a longer form podcast where we wouldn't have to like end conversations because, oh, we're talking about Halo, but now all of a sudden we're having a conversation about Metroid, but we have to cut it off, right? Like that's why the NX show existed, was because like we wanted to have more natural flowing conversations. And that's what the Boss Rush podcast is going to continue to be, right? Moving, like you said, for people who missed it, the NX show is turning into the Boss Rush podcast, right? Like that's because that's our new name. We always intended Codename NX or the NX project to be a temporary name until we kind of came up with something that was cool or we thought was fun. And I feel like Boss Rush kind of encapsulates what we all like about games, right? Like I feel like it says where we came from. It kind of tells the story of what we've gone through and what we're doing now. And you know, just the last couple of weeks for me have been kind of, you know, personally,
a roller coaster.
It's been a lot, like, you know, moving, and the end of Nerds Gone Rogue, kind of abruptly, like, you know, that's not like a negative thing on anybody, right? Like, I'm just saying it kind of ended abruptly, and that was kind of a emotional hit for me, and you know, it's the work has been kind of crazy lately, and it's just been like a really weird whirlwind of emotions the last few weeks, to the point where like I wasn't sleeping well, and the last couple of weeks I realized on Nintendo Pow Block I did sound tired. You know that, like I wasn't sleeping well, I wasn't eating well, I was working a lot, like I was trying to get all this stuff ready for us to do this, and you know, it's Boss Rush is our main focus now, right? Like, and I'm kind of relieved is the wrong word, but like having one thing to focus on instead of 3 or 4, right, is probably for the best, right? And I've already felt a little bit of a weight taken off my shoulders, like not having to manage multiple things, right?
Yes. And
you've done a great job of hosting and stepping in and helping me, and you know, so is Jesse and Ray. You know, like I'm just excited for our future, and that's like talking about Boss Rush games is kind of going to be our topic of the show. We're going to get into some news. We're going to kind of talk about the new kind of flow of Pow Block moving forward. But Boss Rush games is an exciting thing because we have content planned out, right? We have new podcasts on the way. We have a couple of things planned for YouTube. We kind of had more, but like there's this whole YouTube controversy stuff, and I haven't edited the NX show yet, or Boss Rush, whatever. I haven't edited that show yet, so I don't know if you and Jesse kind of talked about it a little bit. I know you originally intended on it, but
we talked a little bit on it, but it wasn't like the main focus. I can say that me and Jesse did have a talk about Death Stranding, and which was a very good conversation and hopefully you guys will be able to check it out. But we really had a good conversation about that. We talked, like I said, we talked a little bit about YouTube, and everything, and I've been following up on it. So we'll find out more later on in the year on what they decide to do with their business and everything.
Yeah. So I think, we have content planned out, but we want to kind of like have a focus on our podcasting. And I know Ray is still live streaming a lot. Like that's going to be, that's his focus for real,
yes.
Right? Like he's nice enough to take time out of his busy schedule to come be on our podcast, right? And be a part of this, and which is, exciting and makes me kind of wonder why, because he's so professional, and we're just like, oh yeah, woo, podcast. We try to be professional and fun at the same time, and I think that's what he brings to the table too, right? And
yes,
you and I have been friends for what, almost 5 years now, 6 years,
6 years, yeah.
And Nintendo Pow Block has always been our baby, and we've always wanted to do something together with it bigger than I think we like, bigger than it has been, and
yes.
So I'm kind of going to transition this topic or this conversation into like what we kind of want Boss Rush games to mean for people, right? I know what it means for us, but I want to kind of talk about what we want it to mean for people. I've kind of, what I wanted, DNA and Nerds Gone Rogue to be at one point was like a cool place where friends from around the internet could come do cool things on the internet with each other, right? And
yes,
that kind of got away from us for a little bit, right? And that's why me and Jesse started split off, right? Like and started doing our own thing, because things kind of got lost in the shuffle. And we had our thing, and Nerds Gone Rogue and Nerds Gone Platinum had their thing, and I was trying to balance both, and it kind of took away from what we were trying to do with Pow Block in general and the NX show in general. And I've always felt bad about not giving 100% to either side. Right. But what I want Boss Rush games to be, and this is literally an open invitation to any content creator out there who's listening, right? Like I put a few names out there a couple times on Twitter of who I would like to guest, right? And I want Boss Rush games to be a place where friends and other content creators guest or collaborate and do cool stuff on the internet, right? Like that's our goal. And I don't care if you are white, black, Asian, gay, straight, trans. I don't care what your focus is. Like, we want to be inclusive. We want to be friendly and fun and accepting and positive. And, that's our message. And like our motto on our banner, right, is play games, be better. Right. And like that be better means a bunch of different things. Like, but, it plays off of, being better at games, but it also means be a better person. Just be better. And that's what I want Boss Rush games to be, is just a place where we can all be better,
Yes.
So sorry, I'm just kind of ranting and kind of, it's been a couple weeks since I podcasted everybody, and then way longer than that since I had any energy whatsoever. So, but like, that's kind of like my vision, but I also want it to be like a democratic, like the four of us are kind of like the core of this, right? And I want the core of Boss Rush Games to be a democratic environment, right? Where we all kind of vote on things and say, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, whatever, what do you want Boss Rush Games to be? Like, what do you expect this to be for us and for people?
I think definitely one of the things is community. We always that's for any podcast or any kind of network that is starting up, is that you want to build a strong community. You want to build a community where positivity is encouraged. Encouraged enough to be like, even though something might not be for you, you are able to root that person on. And maybe at some point in time, take interest in what that person is playing, what that person is saying, and learn. I think with us four, it took us a while to learn each other, to build something, to encourage each other, and to like root for our games and stuff. And kind of want to share that kind of thing with the community. I think if the community see us with our passion that we have for them, they'll see the passion that they have for us. I think I worded that wrong in a sense. But
I think people understand what you're saying, though, right? Like, I say stuff wrong all the time, but I think people get the gist of what we're saying.
Right. Because I'm like, I think, yes, we are talking about video games. We are talking about anime, different media and stuff. But there's so much out there from different countries, from different parts of the world that we haven't seen yet, that we haven't embraced or like even tried yet. And we kind of want to be able to do that. So yeah, it may be something that we're not used to, but it's good that we try it out and we learn, and maybe teaching about that stuff, like there are people who think that if you play a game, you automatically know what that game is and how to play it. But not all games are like that. It takes time to understand that genre and that series. And kind of like Boss Rush Games, us, you might not agree with some of our opinions, but if you stick around and you continue to listen to us, if you engage by asking questions, by delivering a different viewpoint and stuff, you will see how positive and how loving and accepting we are, and that's what we want to be for everybody.
I mean, how many times over 172 episodes of Nintendo Pow Block have we disagreed on something? Probably 2 or 3 times an episode.
Yes,
to be nice. But like, it's not the opinion that matters so much. It's the conversation you have around the opinion, I feel like, and how you kind of learn and learn from where each other is coming from. Right. And I think that a lot of the internet gets lost, their opinions get lost because, they're afraid they're going to say something wrong or, I mean, look at, sometimes somebody tweets something and people get so mad and so angry about something instead of just having like a normal conversation about something, right?
Yes.
And that's happened to me, right? Like, I've tweeted something and people get mad at me for tweeting something when they don't even know the context of the tweet or whatever, right? Like, it happens. So we kind of want to take that vibe and that positivity and kind of restore some positive aspect to the internet. So this is literally an open invitation to content creators, whether it's Boss Rush Games, Boss Rush Podcast, Nintendo Pow Block, our new podcast, which we're gearing up for, definitely 1v1, right? Like that is literally a one of us versus a guest, and it's an interview show, right? Like that's like, we've met so many people through, streaming on Mixer and Twitch and, playing games with people and other content creators and other YouTubers and listening to others' podcasts. Like there's so many people just in close proximity that, like, if each person we've met over the years did one episode, we could probably get 2 years out of that show easily. Right.
Yes. Yes.
So that, or, Standard Definition is a show that I've wanted to do for a very long time, since you came to visit, Ed, and I have that file somewhere of the show that we did when you were here.
Yes.
Of like a prototype version of that. But, Standard Definition is a show I want to do. I want to kind of explore Real Talk again, which is an old DNA show that we used to do, where we talked about movies and stuff, but kind of changed up the format. Like I said, Boss Rush Games is going to focus on podcasting. We are going to do some YouTube stuff. We're probably going to do a lot more live streaming stuff once I get this technology handled, right? Like there's a lot of technology that I need to work on, but I've contacted Lee from Phoenix Overdrive and his Extra Life team. We're gonna try to get in a foot in the door of doing their Extra Life stuff, right? Like we want to be more involved with that, and Ray has his Extra Life stuff. There's a lot going on. Like there's been a lot behind the scenes, which is why I've been kind of tired and, among other things, but, we want to get more involved with people's extra lives. And, look, Extra Life is no joke. Setting up your own Extra Life sounds like a nightmare just by talking to Lee and a couple other, listening to others' podcasts about how they do Extra Life every year. And it's just kind of a nightmare to set up your own, but like, we still want to support Extra Life. So,
yes.
And out of everybody that we've ever done content with, I think Nerd Overdrive is probably probably at the forefront of expertise in Extra Life. So,
yes,
I've been talking to Lee. I've contacted Ray. I know he's been really busy with some health things and streaming and stuff. So Ray Osorio, not Ray Apollo, the other Ray.
Yeah.
So we're going to get him back in here. Todd Oxtra and Mark Carabin from Co-op Mode and Secret Friends and Charlie. Like there's so many people we could dig through on this list. Like in this, there's bigger people out there like MC Fixer from My Xbox and Me, right? Like,
yeah,
I know Jesse talks very highly of him. I would love to have him on Boss Rush.
I gave him a shout out, and we got the we haven't had a 101 yet, but we had a great talk and stuff. And to have him on the show would be like, talking things Xbox, but also just talking about his area of game.
Yeah, like he went to XO19, which is awesome. Like I want to get him on a show. I want to get Khalif Adams from Spawn on me on a show. Some of these bigger podcasters which I've reached out to and emailed, and we've had some conversations, not for Boss Rush, but for Nerds Gone Rogue, but we've kept in touch, right? So yes, we'll be able to get them on something around here, right? Like there's people out there who are willing to collaborate if you just reach out, and it's very exciting once you reach out to them. So we're starting a couple of new podcasts. We're going to do a video game book club. We're going to do a bunch of cool things in audio and video form. You can still watch the show on YouTube or on our website. BossRushGames.com is open. It is not finished. You will still see the NX show stuff there, but by the time the next NX show goes up, it will be the Boss Rush podcast, and you will see the new logo, which it's finished, and it's I like it.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it. I was playing around with fonts and stuff, and it is happening. So
it's hot. is blazing.
Yeah. So, Ed, I'm excited to do more podcasting. Like, podcasting is something that I think we are both very passionate about. And when Jesse joined us on Arsenal X and the first round of Nintendo Pow Block, like, I feel like Jesse kind of, found his own groove, and like he's been a fabulous addition to the team too. Yes. Right. I know we talked about Ray earlier, but I don't think we have given Jesse enough credit during this conversation either. He's written our theme songs. He's done, which the Boss Rush theme song is pretty dope.
Yeah,
it's a good one. So, but I'm excited.
It's funny that Jesse never knew that he would fall into podcasts, and it literally just took maybe one or two shows, and that's it.
Yeah,
like he was a podcaster. Like,
I mean, when you sit down and like really get into it, like it's really just having a conversation with your friends about games that you love, right? And like,
yes,
that's I think that's why I like it so much, and I think that's why, you and I in particular, and I know the first couple shows were kind of, rough because we didn't really know each other that well, and it took us a while to find a groove, which every show does, right? Like every show takes a little bit to find a groove, but I think we've become such good friends, and our tastes are different but similar enough to where our conversations just kind of drive the show, and like that's why that transitioning out of talking about Boss Rush as a whole and just talking about Nintendo Pow Block and how it's going to kind of change and move forward, right? Like, I want this to be more of a conversational show, right? Like, I think we have good conversations about the news and stuff, but like, I want to have like real conversations, right? Like real kind of long-winded conversations, like 20, like I don't want to like say, oh, here's the checklist, and we're going to talk about this, and this. Ed, how do you feel about blah blah blah? And then you give like a couple minute say on how you feel, and I say how I feel, and then moving along, like I want to have like like an
in-depth conversation about something, and I think that's one thing, is that when you have an in-depth conversation, it feels natural. I mean, you can always talk about the news and answer a question, but when something just like pops in your mind, or something just get asked and you start bouncing off each other, that natural feeling really makes an entertaining listen.
Yeah, and I really like how I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts lately. I know MinMax, the kind of group that got laid off from Game Informer, started their own stuff, and I've been listening to that. I've been listening to the Game Informer show, and like they don't really talk about the news a lot, right? Like, I think they talk about news when people write in asking about the news, which is kind of the direction I kind of want to go with this show, at least. I think we have interesting enough conversations about Nintendo, and like I think maybe we should just do incorporate questions. Question block's still going to be around, right? Like that's still going to be a thing. I want to like have bigger discussions about the questions people ask, instead of having the checklist of news stuff, right? And I think that's what they do well. And in the coming weeks, we're going to play around with transitions. We're going to play around with classic video game music for the transitions. I've told Ed I want to do some fun things with the show where, I've been listening to a lot of Game Scoop, which they have really cool retro transitions, which is fun. When Ed does something like says something smart, I want to have like a like a Mario coin sound or something, like something dumb and weird like that, right? Like I want to do fun things with this show, and my love for this show in particular I think, you know, how I've kind of gone to produce this show the last couple months has kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but I think my love for this show, I feel bad for how not focused I've been and how not focused I've edited the show, right? Like, I feel like maybe it's been a little lazy on my part, but I want to get back into like really producing the show, you know,
Yes.
making a good podcast for people to listen to. And I hope that this episode in particular, I hope, you know, me personally, I hope people notice a difference in me personally on this episode and us as a team this episode, and, you know, just the conversations we're having, because like I really have felt bad about how I've been on this show the last few weeks, you know, like I really do. And that's, you know, that's no one's fault but my own in terms of like my energy level and my producing and stuff. You know, I really do feel bad, and I want to get back to how, you know, our show in its prime was so well done. Our conversations were so good, and like,
yes,
I've told you, like, at the prime of our show before we transitioned into the NX show, I feel like our Nintendo show is better than most websites who have Nintendo podcasts. Like, I really felt that way. And maybe not in terms of like keeping up with the latest games because they get games early or, you know, but I feel like the conversational level is better than most of those shows.
Right.
And, you know, even some hosts, like bigger websites that have Nintendo podcasts, they have hosts that don't know how to host the show. And I'm like, opening and hosting a show is not like, I get like some people aren't made to host. Like, I don't think I'm made to host, right? Like, I think you are Boss Rush Games host, right? Like the host. I host this out of pure greed, to be quite honest with you. But you know, like I don't think opening a show, like saying hello to everybody and welcoming them to the show, telling them what episode number this is, episode 172, by the way, that's what episode this is. I don't think I said it at the top of the show, but like, you know, just getting people into the show and engaged, I don't think is entirely that difficult. You know, I truly think that what we've done with Nintendo Pow Block over the years has grown into something powerful and fun, you know, and
yes.
And I put that on myself for not making it that the last couple, like maybe even a couple months. Right. And, you know, and Boss Rush has kind of reinvigorated me, having this show to focus on primarily has reinvigorated me, and to be more creative and more passionate about editing and producing the show. And, you know, our conversations in the chat, you've kind of reinvigorated my love for this show. Right. And I kind of, I personally kind of forgot about that part, you know, like we podcast because we love it. We podcast about Nintendo because of our shared love of Nintendo. And, you know, that's kind of my next point is like, we want to do more with Nintendo Pow Block in general, right? Like, you know, I have a freaking notebook now, right, where I'm taking notes and writing down timestamps and stuff, so I can put them in the descriptions of the show. You know, I want to put links to all of our stuff in the show notes, which I haven't been doing lately. I want to, you know, give proper descriptions, which I haven't done lately. You know, like it's been for lack of better terms, and I don't like to use profanity on this show in particular, but the descriptions and stuff have been kind of half-assed, to be fair too, you know, and you know, that's something I not only apologize to the fans, but I should apologize to you in particular. You know, it's like,
don't apologize to me. I know for me personally, I need to be better. Like, one of my things is that I do it, I put it out there, and then I move on to the next. And it's just like, no, I need to promote, I need to speak more about this, get more people engaged, and take a look at our content and stuff. Like, I need to be kind of more involved in getting the stuff out there. And I could tell you, I get lazy at times, and I hate being a lazy person, but I do. But I kind of want to be better, putting stuff out there so people can see.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to be a host and everything. I'm a person who really didn't have no one to talk to or do host and stuff like this, and it took years to get where I'm at. So thank you for believing and having the confidence, and hopefully people who are watching this, hopefully the community who is watching this, can realize that I love, when I host, I love having fun, and I love having these grand or outlandish conversations and answers and stuff, because it gets you into it, whether you agree or disagree. It allows you to have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, you've been busy because you've been juggling so many things. And when you're head in charge, when you are a leader of something, a leader of a network, you're going to be juggling some things.
Yeah. And like, yes, Boss Rush Games is going to be a lot of work, but what we have planned, I think, is doable.
Yes.
And what we have planned, I think, is manageable. And if I'm just managing this instead of 100 other projects that I've tried to do, I would rather give 110% to one project instead of 60% to 4 different projects, right? And I think that's been an issue for a while now for me, and it's just been exhausting, I'm sorry, like the last 20 minutes have kind of been like I hope it's not sounding negative. I just want to get the point across to people that Pow Block is I started Pow Block, kind of as a YouTube segment on the DNA channel because I wanted to talk about Nintendo, and I didn't really have a chance to do a lot of that because, we were talking about, I had a pretty successful Destiny show with my friend Brian, and, the DNA podcast kind of grew into its thing. And then it turned into a lot of other things where I didn't really get to talk about Nintendo as much, which is weird because around the time you started Optional Opinion, I was writing about Nintendo stuff because I started a blog called D-Pad Games, and that was, I wonder how many people came up with that, but I started talking about Nintendo, and now we're here talking about Nintendo 6 years later on a very successful, podcast. And I'm not saying that to brag about how successful our show, we have according to the analytics that have been provided to me by Apple Podcasts and Podbean and Google Analytics, we get roughly 10,000 downloads a week for this show in particular, which I'm very proud of. That's a lot of people that listen to this show. And the last couple of weeks I have seen the numbers drop, and I feel like I want to get back up, and I'm very, very proud of us as a team, as a unit, in this show in particular. So I kind of want to talk about what our plans are for Pow Block moving forward, and then get into what we've been playing in some of these news bits and stuff.
Well, I can't wait for the news bits.
We this can be probably a little bit longer show, to be fair, but I don't mind that this show is long as people are interested in listening to it, right? So
Yes.
there's a lot of my favorite podcasts are longer than an hour and a half, right? Giant Bombcast, Game Informer Show, Min Max Show, Sacred Symbols. Like a lot of the shows I listen to are longer than an hour and a half, and I like that type of show, and I like hanging out with you for longer than an hour. So
yes.
So, you know, like we kind of talked about a couple weeks or maybe a month ago at this point, Boss Rush Games, in 2020 at some point, we're going to start a Patreon, I think, somewhere, not at the beginning of the year, but somewhere towards like March or April. I want to get our stuff established. I want to make sure people know what we're doing and have a clear kind of focus on, you know, I want to have our focus on the content that we're creating for it and make sure we can handle it before we you know, dive too deep into it. Right.
Yes.
And what that means for Nintendo Pow Block, nothing's going to change for the regular show. This show is going to be free forever, right? Like you're going to get it, whatever. It's going to be the same show. We're going to do a show called Nintendo Pow Block Plus, which, you know, Ed and I are going to have another 45 to 60 minute conversation on each week, which will probably be a Patreon exclusive show, I'm sure, where we kind of take a deeper dive on things that have to do with Nintendo, or maybe Nintendo adjacent, right? Maybe specific games, spoiler casts, which, by the way, spoiler casts will also go on the free feeds. I don't want people to think that we're going to talk about games and put it behind a paywall. That's dumb. I think if you want to have a good spoiler cast, you can have it, right? But different topics, question and answer episodes, you know, those types of things for Nintendo Pow Block Plus. I think that this show is strong enough for that. And then we're going to do, you know, retro game show like we've been doing with A Link to the Past, which is going very well. So that's kind of our plan for Pow Block. And then we will also at some point probably do you know, quick looks on Nintendo games and stuff like that. But that's what that means for Nintendo Pow Block. I'm sure we'll talk about the rest of it on the Boss Rush podcast at some point.
Yes.
In the near future. I want to make sure everybody's on board with what we're doing before we tell everybody. But for Pow Block, that's kind of our goal for now. So we will get you more information on that when it comes closer to launch. So but yeah, I'm nervous about this because like I don't want to ask people for their money. I think that's like, I don't know, not I watched a really good video on the Patreon backend that said the title of the video was how to ask people for their money without sounding like an asshole. Like, you know, and sorry, that's the second time I've cursed on this show. I'm sorry that, but it was really interesting. And, you know, people have asked us if we were going to start one because we know people that have started Patreons in the past, and we kind of, I don't want to speak for Ed, but some people, I feel like our show has been better than in the past, you know, and I think that, you know, if you want to donate and make our show better, then you can have that option.
Yes.
You know, it's not going to be like I said to Ed and the team, like 90% of our content will be free all the time. You know,
yes.
It's going to be more like you get the show maybe 2 days early. Maybe you get special perks, stuff like that. We haven't finalized anything. We haven't even really discussed it as a team. We've just been throwing ideas out there.
Yeah.
So
and just for example, with the Patreon, at a certain point of view are donating to us, hey, you get to choose one of the games for the book club. You get to have us like play something that may not be something in our library, but we'll go out and get it, and we'll have that discussion, and we'll take questions from those who are donating, and the person who like recommend the game. And maybe even have them on I don't know if you want to do that, Corey, have them on 101 or standard definition, like to like talk about why they recommended this game and stuff. It might seem nerve-wracking at things, but that's the community stuff that we want to have people involved in.
We want that community interaction, and like we're going to have like Ed said, polls on what game we do for a book club, or what game, like, do you want us to play a specific game for the retro games show? Like, we want you to vote, right? And we're going to have a community interaction tier, which will be like, I don't know, I think we decided on like $2 or something.
Yes.
That like, you'll be able to vote, you'll be able to ask questions for those shows. And we want a strong community, and I think that having a community be able to vote and decide on things with us is a smart way to go. So
yes,
I know it's what a lot of other Patreons do. I have looked at probably 20 or 30 different Patreons to kind of see where we fit in the grand scheme of things, right? Like we're never going to be like Kind of Funny or Easy Allies, right? We're like, that idea is so far outside of my head right now that it's like, we're more like Colin's Last Stand, or maybe even something closer to Game Explain, right? Where like,
yes,
I think Game Explain, like we're all from all over, right? And like we're all able to do our own things, but we can come together through the internet and kind of podcast and do our own things, right?
Yes.
So I think that's kind of more where we're at. And there are some things from Easy Allies I did like, where, some of their early on tiers were like, you'll be able to like, have like, there's a tier where you get like a postcard in the mail, like signed by one of us and said, a thank you card, right? Like, I know it's dumb, but that tier is really popular for them. And they have like what, 15 or 17,000 patrons or whatever, but yeah, it's a very popular tier for them. And it's something we're working through, but like we said, we'll have more information. I know we've kind of gone on for 40 minutes about all this crap, but I'm really excited for the future of Boss Rush and Nintendo Pow Block in particular. I'm sorry that I've been kind of lacking in the.
No, you haven't been lacking.
So, but the show must go on. There's been a rejuvenation, I feel like, and
yes,
I'm very, very excited. Before we get into the news bits, Ed, are you playing anything exciting? Are you finishing anything, playing anything?
Okay, so I started playing sort of Ditto at work. Enjoying that little piece by piece. I'm kind of stuck at Luigi's Mansion 3 right now, but I'll figure that little puzzle out. Really, really loving this game. Like, I cannot express this enough that Nintendo pretty much a lot of their games from this year needs to be Game of the Year. There is no doubt. Like, not only should it be nominations, and we'll talk about certain thing in the news, but one of their games should be Game of the Year. And they really knocked it out. When people were worried about what the Switch would have in the future, that kind of doubt went away. Like, you don't have Mario, Zelda, and Metroid this year or a couple of years, but the heavy hitters that they brought for 2019,
they had Mario and Zelda this year. Bam.
A main series.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Say.
I'm just kidding.
I can't with you, even though that is true. But like, they really knocked it out the park, and man, Pokemon Sword. So I got the double pack of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I've been playing it every day. The internet and I been having a problem trying to progress because we've been trying to catch up with different Pokemon. We've been doing this the max raid battles like Dynamaxing. We've been trying to catch different Pokemon, trade, really like get shiny Pokemon and just do a whole bunch. And people are now just getting to their first or second gym because there's so much in the game that you're able to do, that it's crazy on how Game Freak really put a lot of stuff into it. And it all the stuff with the Pokedex and Game Freak Live hashtagging, all of that went away the day Pokemon came out. People were just showing the names, who their teams were. I got the trade. I caught a Farfetch and traded with one of my friends on Twitter because he wanted it. And I was just like, I'm going to work hard to get it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to work hard to get some Pokemon that other people don't have, and I'll trade them. They could give me their Pokemon, whatever they want, and I'll keep them. But it's just like, I love this interaction. I love the hype and love that people have for Pokemon. And it definitely is another Game of the Year contender. Like, I cannot express this enough. I think Super Mario Maker, Yoshi's Crafted World, Astro Train, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion, and now Pokemon, like 7 first-party games are... Demon Ex Machina for me also. Like, those 8 games are on my Game of the Year list just from Nintendo itself. That's crazy. That's 3/4 of the year of games. So I'm so happy, playing this game. It's pretty much like the last one. I think it's the last first party game that Nintendo has coming out. And I do want to go back and get Ring Fit Adventure and some other stuff. But man, this Pokemon, and I'm playing Pokemon Sword. Like, I really love this game. Like, I'm addicted to it. Like, I would spend 4 to 5 hours before I even go to bed, knowing good and well I need to be up in the morning to go to work, playing this game and still talking about it with other people, like getting into like the max battles, the raids and stuff. They're not too hard. Dynamaxing is really cool, but it depends on when you really want to use it. Are you powerful enough to use it, because they'll give you different moves, or do you need it in a pinch? Because like, once those 3 moves are gone, that's it. I save my Dynamax for right now when it's come time to use it. But if I'm playing with other players, I'll Dynamax and I'll attack. And you don't know who you're fighting when you go in. It's really, really good. I'm at a point now that a lot of the Pokemon don't want to stay in the balls, in the Pokeballs that I throw at them. So it's just like, I'm like, I got you to red. Now I got to stun you, or I got to put you to sleep, or I got to paralyze you. Okay, I'm going through 8 Pokeballs. Like, it's getting not frustrating, but it's getting fun to me. Like, once I catch you, I'll be like, yes, got you. You stay. And then you'll get them and start using them and building them up. You're just like, yeah, all that work was worth it. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm glad. It's kind of weird because I want to see how the NPD does for Pokemon. It feels like a lot of people bought Shield and not many people have bought Sword, but it seems that Sword got brought digitally and still got bought more physically, and then it's the double packs and everything. So, and I will show the picture. Sorry, everybody, but I will share the pictures on Boss Rush Gang's Facebook page or Codename Index if it's still that name. You guys will be
it'll be Boss Rush by the time this episode goes up. I'm gonna try. Like, that's my main goal this week, is to update and finish everything in terms of social, in terms of all that stuff. So
yes. So yeah, you guys will be able to see what I got for it. But yeah, Pokemon, and I know I got like about 6 weeks. I got to get Borderlands 3. I got to get Control. I got to get Modern Warfare.
There's so much this year, right? Like, there's so much to catch up on. Like, I haven't been buying a lot of games recently, or any, to be honest with you, because of the move and stuff, and my birthday is coming up, and Hanukkah and Christmas are also coming up. So like, I'm trying to save stuff for that. All I've asked for are Xbox and Nintendo gift cards. Like, that's literally all I've asked for for Christmas.
Yeah.
And my birthday and stuff.
And because I gotta see. Well, I think I'm buying Shadowkeep next Thursday for Thanksgiving. And then, like, of course, I got to do my holiday shopping, but I'm just like, man, I got to get stuff ready for Black Friday, and try to get as much as I can done. Like, I still got to go back on my Xbox and get back into my Let's Play of Akami HD. Like, I've been so on my Switch a lot that, man, I forgot my PS4. I've got my Xbox One. Like, I need to get through Days Gone. I need to get through, hopefully I could pick up Concrete Genie. Like, Death Stranding, I'm skipping. But if it goes on a sale that's really cheap, I'll pick it up maybe. But like, there's stuff I need to go back. But like, man, Pokemon and Luigi's Mansion and a whole bunch of first party games have really just like blew it out the water for this year. So, but that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Yeah. Just to, reiterate on how much there's to catch up on. Like, everyone's talking about Star Wars this week too, and I'm like,
then I got to get that.
I've been like cautiously optimistic about this game because, like, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. Like, I like aspects of Star Wars. Like, I really like Knights of the Old Republic. I enjoy some of the movies. Like, I watched the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian this week on Disney Plus, and I'm like really into it, right? And like, for everything I've been hearing about Fallen Order is like, it's kind of like Metroid Prime with some, elements of, I mean, not really Dark Souls, but like, deliberate, cool combat and traversal from Titanfall. And I'm like, I'm kind of into all those things. And so like, I think my wife is getting it for me for my birthday, which I'm pretty excited for. So, like, I need to finish the Outer Worlds.
Got to get that too. Well, Outer Worlds, I said I'm waiting because I was going to do that on Switch. I wasn't going to do that on Xbox.
Yeah.
Unless I get a sale for it.
Yeah. So for me, it's really just been trying to finish up what I've already have. Like, I'm finally on the final mission of Fire Emblem.
Yes.
So I've been trying to finish that. I've been playing Final Fantasy 12 on Switch.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, I like Final Fantasy 12. I remember playing it on PS2, like pouring a lot of time into that. And I think the only reason why I quit is because I got God of War 2 and that game like consumed my life for a while.
Okay.
But speaking of, man, Game Pass, all the Final Fantasy games and Yakuza and Remnant, like, that's another thing. Like, Remnant is on Game Pass now, so I can play with you and Jesse finally. I'm like, I knew that game was going to come to the Game Pass at some point. That's why I didn't buy it in the first place.
Well, I know definitely like me and Jesse had to have it because seeing it at the PC gaming thing, we're just like, oh, we need this.
Yeah.
We literally need this.
Yeah.
Like I haven't been excited for like a Soul style game until Remnant from the Ashes.
Yeah. So I downloaded it. Rage 2 is on Game Pass now too. Like I
need to finish that.
I want to at least try it. Like all the games that came out this year, I want to at least give a shot, right? And so we have something to talk about for Game of the Year discussions.
When is Darksiders Genesis dropping this year, or is that next year?
They said 2019, but I think they're going to end up pushing it because I don't know when it's going to come out. Unless they drop it in December, which is kind of like a weird time to drop a spin-off game.
Yeah, because that Streets of Rage 4, Panzer Dragoon, I'm like, what are the updates for these games? Because I don't know the releases and stuff. And I'm still waiting for Shenmue 3 for like people's opinion about it and reviews. I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, I saw something on IGN today that said, "Where's our Shenmue 3 review?" And I'm like, I haven't seen anybody reviewing this game because didn't it come out?
It came out today.
It came out today.
It came out today.
So I don't know, man. I've been there's so much to catch up on, but I've been playing Fire Emblem. I've been playing Final Fantasy 12. I'm played a little bit more of the demo of Dragon Quest 11. But with the move and everything,
that's another one I played. But that was for PS4. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I'm playing the demo on Switch.
Yeah, so that's kind of it for me. With the move, I haven't really had a lot of time to play a lot. So I've really just been trying to finish what I started, and so that was Fire Emblem. Yeah, so how the rest of the episode is going to go, we're going to talk about a little bit about some news bits, and then we're going to introduce a new segment called Nintendo, where we talk about you can write in a question about a topic that you want us to talk about within the show, and we will talk about it. We do have a question about Google Stadia, which launched or is launching this week. It launched on Friday. I think it's out.
No,
we don't even know. Like, that's how misinformed everybody is about this thing.
Let me rephrase it. It's out to certain people.
Yeah, if you have the Founders Edition, it's out.
Even the Founders Edition is out for certain people.
Yeah.
Not everybody got their Founders.
I know. I read that. But we're gonna. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit about the Game Awards nominations. We are there's been some, I don't want to say controversy, but there's been some questions about how things are getting nominated. I know Smash Brothers Ultimate leads Nintendo's nominations for the Game Awards. So Ed, I know you have some thoughts. Why don't you get started? I'm going to grab something to drink because I am extremely thirsty.
Okay, so I'm not going to answer Deshaun's question because he already, he sent one in, and we're going to read it together and do it. But this nomination is questionable content. Not questionable content, very questionable. I feel like Death Stranding doesn't need to be on this list due to the fact that the game literally just came out. It hasn't reviewed well. Not many Sony players own it. There's been some divisive debates about it. And I feel like because Jeff Keighley is connected to this game, that it shouldn't be on it. Like, I looked at all the nominations that this game got. This and Control, I would say. And I feel like those two games, Control for Remedy, I think it deserves a spot. But it's a fight between Control and Resident Evil 2 being on this. and I think the problem with this is that none of Microsoft games are really in any nomination. Gears 5, really? Okay, I love Gears 5, but that's unfair. Devil May Cry 5 really is not getting recognized. Why is the Division 2 on here? Why is Final Fantasy 14? Why is Destiny still on it? This is supposed to be games for 2019. There has been a lot of titles that have came out that have sold very well, that have reviewed very well, that have gotten enough praise, and it should be on another nomination. Like I always say about the Game Awards, is that there should be 3 first party, something PC related, an indie game, and a third party game. And if it gets that one nomination, unless you're doing categories or anything, once it gets that one nomination, that's it. But apparently, since Sony first party has been pretty much 3 well-known games. 4, I should say. Days Gone, Medieval, Concrete Genie, and Death Stranding. So the other 3 games, they've been out for a while. Out of all of them that has been said, Concrete Genie is probably the highest. Not Death Stranding. I think Days Gone would go second. Medieval will follow, and then Death Stranding is last because of how divisive it is debate wise. Control is Remedy's probably one of the finest games, so yeah, it deserves to be on there. Resident Evil 2 remake, as great as that game is, I think it should have had its own category of survival horror and maybe best remake, going against The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, because I think those 2 games, they do something different, yet they really are something of their own. Me and Jesse talked about this and everything, and that's why I feel like I don't think Resident Evil 2 represented the best third party game. Control, maybe, yes. Like Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, I don't think that needs to be on there because it came and went. Not many. I mean, people had their fun.
I feel like a lot of the games that were nominated are people. There's nothing that really stuck. You know what I mean? Everything was a time and place game where okay, for example, the week that Days Gone came out, everybody was talking about Days Gone, but then nobody was talking about Days Gone when the next big thing came out. Right. And I feel like there's a lot of games on this list that did that, Sorry, I know everybody hears the squeaking in my chair. My soundproofing, it's been a challenge trying to keep the soundproofing up. This double-sided tape I bought is not working great. So I'm going to try to find another solution this weekend. But like you said, Resident Evil 2, I think I think people talk about that game in a different way than new games because as great as that game is, it's still a remake, right? I think people talk about it as it setting a new bar for remakes, right? I feel like that's the way people talk about that game in a conversation. Not that it's not good, right? I feel like it's probably a great game. I didn't play it, so I don't really know. I don't play spooky games, so sorry, everybody.
I just feel like just for me, and Jesse might disagree, it doesn't deserve a Game of the Year nomination for the Game Awards. It deserves it for everything else, but not for the Game Awards.
There, even if there's a category for best remake, because there's plenty of remakes this year.
Yeah.
Right? I really feel like there's plenty of remakes for it to warrant its own category. Right. Link's Awakening being one of them. What was the other big remake this year? I don't remember, but you know what I mean? I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Game Awards, like I like the idea of the Game Awards, and like it's really close to being the show that people want it to be. I just don't know how to get it. I don't know how they're going to get it over the edge. Right?
There should have been a balance. Okay, so Death Stranding shouldn't be there. Resident Evil 2 shouldn't be there. Astral Chain should have been in it. Fire Emblem Three Houses should have been in it. Why? Because everybody not only was talking about those games, those are probably those two games alone were the highest rated. Astral Chain.
I feel like Astral Chain and Fire Emblem easily could have been in there. I don't like. I feel like no offense to Death Stranding, right? Like, and I know Keeley is very close to Kojima, and I know like people are gonna say things like that, but like that game had such mixed reviews that like and like no offense to Control, but Control didn't have great like outstanding reviews either, right? Like it right. was getting like 8s, right? But like I don't know if Control really kind of deserves the wrong word. Like I feel like these games are great in their own right, but like they're not Game of the Year material. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Right. Like I don't even think Smash should be on this list. I don't either. Nothing against Smash or anything, but this is supposed to represent the games of 2019. And Smash came out after the Game Awards came out, or the day after it came out. I said this last year. I don't think Tetris Effect needed to be on this list because it's only been out for 2 weeks. Death Stranding was been out for a week or two, and it got 9 nominations. How in the world did a game that just came out 2 weeks get 9 nominations or whatever? Like it doesn't. I understand how people feel about Kojima and Kojima Productions, and they kind of probably want to use this to show Konami off. But it was just like, this game right here is too early to be on the list.
Yeah.
Reason why we could.
Oh, to be fair, like I haven't played Death Stranding, and I'm not a huge Kojima fan, right? Like I don't really care for Metal Gear. I've always been interested in trying to play it, but I've just never had a proper console where I could play all the games, right? But like watching Death Stranding, I feel like Death Stranding is a game that I would enjoy for some reason. But at the same time, I feel like Death Stranding is a game that appeals to a very specific audience. And like you're either going to love it or you're not, right? Like there's not really going to be that in between space. And I feel like a Game of the Year nomination should be a game that appeals to a majority of the audience and is done well, right?
And Astral Train and Three Houses have done that.
Yeah, I feel like in all honesty, as much as I love Fire Emblem, like I love Fire Emblem, I feel like Astral Chain did that better than any game, at least for Nintendo this year. Yeah. Where it was a surprise hit, right? Mm-hmm. It was a surprise hit. Everybody that played it loved it, right? Well, yes. For the most part, right? I haven't really heard anything negative about Astral Chain yet this year. And people are still talking about it. You know, right? Like I feel like
people are still buying the Switch for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah. But I also understand that Fire Emblem is not for everybody, right? I feel like I honestly feel like Fire Emblem is in the same camp as Death Stranding, where like that game is aimed at a very specific set of people, but it does everything that it wants to do very well. Yes, but I would not like if somebody was buying a Switch, but they're like a casual kind of gamer where they like, oh yeah, I like Mario, I'll play Zelda if I get it, you know, like I'll play some of these other games. Like I don't know if I would really recommend Fire Emblem to them. right?
I think Three Houses is more easier than a lot of the games in the series. It really eases you in.
Yeah, but it's incredibly difficult at the end.
It's incredibly difficult, but that's part of what games are. You have to learn them. Like I stated earlier, you cannot pick up a game and think you know everything by just pressing a few buttons. It takes time to learn a genre of a game, and you can't expect that because you never play that genre that you're gonna pick it up and be an expert. Games don't work that way.
Yeah,
Fire Emblem for the game show. I'm sorry, Corey. I'll let you go. Fire Emblem for this has been sold out 3 times. People not only bought the game digitally, everywhere that people were going to get it physically was sold out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, if you didn't pre-order Fire Emblem. If you didn't pre-order Fire Emblem physically, you weren't getting it for like a month.
Right.
I feel like there's been a lot of games that this year though, like that, like, I'm looking at like the Nintendo nominees for like best family game. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
why is that all every year regulated only to Nintendo?
To me, I feel like if you're gonna nominate Smash Brothers and Death Stranding and Resident Evil 2 for Game of the Year,
yes,
why didn't you nominate Mario Maker 2? I think a lot of these games, I feel like Mario Maker 2 accomplishes a lot of things more than, some of these other games that were nominated. I think it does things better.
It literally felt like that they forgot half of the first part of the year and just be like, okay, anything from the summer, fall, just throw on. Because like I said, no disrespect to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, no disrespect to Resident Evil 2, no disrespect to Control, but those games, they came out, did what they had to do, and went away. They didn't have the impact that a lot of Nintendo games have.
Seriously, the only game that makes sense on this Game of the Year list to me, and I know a lot of games, I do know it was kind of a down year for games this year, but I feel like the only game on this list that makes sense is The Outer Worlds. Like to me, like that's the only game on this list that makes sense.
And I debated about the Outer Worlds, but it was just like, no, Outer Worlds came out a while back. It's still getting the talk and it's still getting the praise. So yes, that game like that can be on the list for Game of the Year. And I said this on Twitter. I'm just like, I feel like this should be a cutoff. Like, I feel like the Game Awards need to be shown the week before Christmas.
And like, if Death Stranding is on here, why isn't Star Wars on here? It made the cut. It made the cutoff date, right? Like, I feel like the way everybody's talking about this new Star Wars game, like, that is a lot of people's Game of the Year already, right? Like, I really truly feel that way, and that's not on any list. And it made the cut. It made the cutoff.
And the problem is that, okay, I understand you're doing this voting section. You're doing all of this voting section, but majority of these people who are doing the voting probably haven't finished half of these games, waiting for Black Friday to come to get them, or they just they know that it's a popular, so they'll just vote for it.
Or like something like, where's Apex Legends on this list? That is a game. That game impacted so much this year. Like, and I know like they have a ongoing game section, but like Apex Legends came out this year and it impacted so much. Why is that not on the Game of the Year list? Right.
So Corey, can I read Deshaun's question?
Oh yeah,
to us?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I forgot. Like, we're gonna if people have, but you can email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com still. But if you like, we're gonna try to incorporate questions that make sense with the topics that we're talking about, and then whatever we have left at the end of the show, we will incorporate the rest of the questions there in the question block. is how we're going to start doing this. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So Deshaun asks, first off, I'm really happy y'all are still at it this far in. Congrats on the soft launch of Boss Rush Games. And I look forward to listening to more stuff from all four of you. Thank you, Deshaun. What do you make of the Game Awards? Do you enjoy them? Okay, so I do enjoy the Game Awards. I love watching it with Corey, with Jesse, the crew. Like when we get to watch it, we get to commentate on it and just have that kind of fun. It's great. Last year was really good because the thing about last year that was strong was the reveals, the announcements. Ultimate Alliance 3, Joker coming to Smash, a lot of indie games to be like, what in the world? Wild Hearts, Sayonara Wild Hearts. Like, what in the world is these indie games? What is this? Okay, I need to have that. I need to have that. Wait, Nintendo Snap like this? Oh, I need to get this. I need to get that. And of course, the performances and the winners and everything coming out with their passionate, the dude when God of War was just like, read it, boy. Watching that stuff, like we enjoyed that. But I think this year, a lot of people are still going to tune in. A lot of people are going to want to see who wins. But to me, it's pretty much the review. It's the reveals. It's the announcements that everybody's going to be watching this show for. I literally want to see Halo 4 for PC and for Game Pass and stuff, and special deals and stuff. Or they'd be like, hey, if you guys got Xbox Live right now, you got Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate, you guys could start playing the first level as a demo if you're interested of Halo 4 in 4K. I mean Halo Reach in 4K. Stuff like that I want to see, that I'm excited about. I want to see what is the next game from this developer or this publisher. Is Untitled Goose Game like working on the second one, or is it like a definitive physical version coming? Like, there's stuff that I want to see. So I feel like we do enjoy it. This year though is kind of like, I think a lot of people are going to be there for the reveals and not for the awards itself.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much why I watch them, is for the reveals, right? It's like, okay, Game of the Year is like, I think it's different for us too because we have our own Game of the Year discussions, and like I feel like we have our own discussions that are intimate with our community and stuff. Like I just feel like when you talk about Game of the Year stuff with your own crew of people who've been podcasting forever, like, the Game Awards is something different for us because we like to watch the reveals instead. It's like second E3 for us almost. Yes. And what the Game Awards also means is that there's a Nintendo Direct right around the corner usually. So
right, because we're all waiting for if they're going to do a Direct or we're going to see the next Smash character.
Yeah.
Or are they going to show the next Smash character and show who's coming for the first of the second season?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's more about the reveals. I don't know how I would change the Game Awards. I feel like, I feel like, look, the Oscars and the Grammys and stuff have been around for 60, 70, 80 years at this point, right? Yes. They have it figured out. The Game Awards, like, after Spike TV, like the Game Awards have been around for 3 or 4 years. So, everybody's still trying to figure it out, still in its infancy. I think they've gotten better over the years. I think they've gotten way better over the years.
Last year was the strongest one that they had.
Definitely. But there's always room to grow, and I'm excited to see what step they take this year to either. I hope they take a step forward. I hope it's not a step backward, but we'll see. But like I said, we will probably do some sort of like watch along type thing. So we'll see. But I like the Game Awards. I think they are important in terms of growing the industry, but at the same time, it's like I just want to see like a Metroid trailer or a Bayonetta 3 trailer, or, you know, the next Smash character, or, you know, that kind of thing. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to kind of get away from the Game Awards here. We're going to talk about the Sonic redesign. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but they did release that trailer, and that movie looks a lot better than it did, 6 months ago?
Yes.
I think it has the right feel to it. I think, you know, they did bring in the, what's his name? The guy who did Sonic Mania.
The creator.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. To help with the redesign. And I feel like this version of Sonic is the Sonic you would like, you imagined 16-bit Sonic looked like if he was real, right? I really feel like he looks like Sonic, and it makes me feel it's like I had zero interest in seeing this movie, but the Sonic redesign in this trailer was like, maybe I'll rent it when it comes to Redbox, you know?
Ooh.
You know?
I'll go to the movie theater
or
to go see it.
You know, maybe I'll watch it on Hulu. Or
you'll go to the Friday on Tuesday movie night and go see it.
Look, I would, but it's extremely difficult to go to the movie theater with a 1-year-old.
Very true.
So let's put it this way. The last movie I went and saw in the theaters was Avengers Endgame, and my wife stayed home with the baby while I went with my brother-in-law, and it was like a whole thing to the point where it's like, man, going to the movies is a chore. So, you know, I still haven't seen Detective Pikachu, which I really want to see.
Very good movie.
But I'm getting the vibes I got from the Detective Pikachu trailer are the vibes I'm getting from this Sonic trailer, right? It just looks like a fun kids movie. I think Jim Carrey I think he looks like a funny Robotnik, but I think it works. Like, I really think it works.
Yes.
So,
I said rented on Xbox or PS, rented on Xbox.
Yeah. But I really like the Sonic redesign. I really do. I think it's smart, and I think it's fun. And Ben Schwartz he sounds like Sonic all the way. So, yeah, Sonic is that movie. When does it come out? February?
Yeah, sometime next year. Like I said, I'll go see it and report back. Yeah.
Speaking of paying to see video game stuff, Nintendo, our next news story, Nintendo is adding a subscription to Animal Crossing on mobile this week. Mario Kart Tour, this comes from Engadget, by the way. Mario Kart Tour was just the start of Nintendo's plans for mobile game subscriptions, it appears. The developer has notified gamers that it's bringing 2 subscription plans to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp on November 21st, both of which to aim to lighten the load. One plan will designate an animal as a, quote, camp caretaker that will provide help around your site. The other plan will let you receive fortune cookies as well as store your excess furniture and clothes in warehouses. Yeah, it's $5 a month. So... yeah, that's I
have no opinion on this.
I really don't either.
I can't think so.
I mean, as much as I love Nintendo, I have zero interest in their mobile strategy. Like, the only game I played was the Fire Emblem one for a little bit, which you know, it's a mobile Fire Emblem game. It was pretty much the 3DS games on a mobile device. You know, and it's fun. Like, I like the mobile game, but like, I don't play games on my phone, man. Like, I try. Like, the only game I really play on my phone is Solitaire sometimes. And like, even then it's like, pass.
Say.
So I mean, I
if they had Tetris 99 on it, I did not be all for it.
Well, there is Tetris Royale on mobile devices.
Let's go to the next story. And not speak of that.
Yeah. So our last segment here is Nintendo. Our new segment here on Nintendo Pow Block, where we, if someone has a question about something that is not Nintendo related, we will answer it and kind of discuss it. And I think, you know, I think this discussion is something that should be had, and I think you and I are going to have an interesting discussion for the rest of the episode here. Remember,
Yes.
you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. We will answer your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, and ideas on the show. If we are talking about a topic, you will be inserted there, and if not, your question will be read at the end of the show during the question block. So, in our Nintendo segment, our topic is Google Stadia and the launch of the service. We have a question from Sam Hall, a longtime listener. He says, "Hey fellas, I know this is a Nintendo show, but what are your thoughts on Google Stadia? The service is launching, and I haven't heard much excitement from you guys or anyone else, really, aside from a few people. Excited for more Pow Block." So I'm also excited for more Pow Block.
Yes.
Although
Always.
I am not excited for Google Stadia.
Okay.
I wanna read this launch lineup first, Ed, before we go into this.
And that's with the new ones that they added on.
I think so. There's about 22 games at launch. There were originally 12, but now there's 22.
Yeah, that's the new one.
This is from The Verge. Remember, you can get the Stadia Founders Edition for $130. From everything I've been hearing, Ed, by the way, I'll read the launch lineup first. And I'm going to tell you that I own probably 80% of these games on other consoles. Another 10% of them are from Game Pass. And then the other 10% I just don't care about. So, available at launch: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Attack on Titan Final Battle 2, Destiny 2 The Collection, which is available for free for the Stadia Pro members, Farming Simulator 2019, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Grid 2019, their only exclusive Guilt from Tequila Works, who did games like Rhyme, Just Dance 2020, Kine, Metro Exodus, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, the Tomb Raider trilogy, the reboot trilogy, Red Dead Redemption 2, Samurai Showdown, Thumper, Trials Rising, and Wolfenstein Young Blood. Coming to the service in 2019, Borderlands 3, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Darksiders Genesis, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So that is your launch lineup for Google Stadia.
Yes. Okay. This is a joke of a list, and I'm gonna tell you.
I know.
Let's get into it. Okay, Assassin's Creed Odyssey has been out for different consoles, but I think don't you guys subscribe to Ubisoft to even get it?
No, you can buy the game outright, but if you have the Uplay Pass on PC, you can connect it to Google Stadia and it will work with Stadia.
Okay, so that's a game that's from last year. Attack on Titan Final Battle 2, pretty much no one really plays that stuff like that. Destiny 2, The Collection. Okay, so for the Destiny fans, yes, you get Shadowkeep, and there's some trickery that it does faux 4K, but not real 4K. If you already got your feel of Destiny, playing it on Stadia is not going to change. It's not going to change anything.
The only thing for Stadia, like the only reason why I was remotely interested in Stadia was because Destiny 2 on Stadia in a console format runs at 60 frames a second instead of 30. But at the same time, like, it's not crossplay with anything. It's not crossplay with anything. So you're only playing with other Stadia members. And look, how many people are jumping into Destiny with Google Stadia? Like, honestly, you're either playing on PC, which is now the largest Destiny community, or you're playing on a console with your friends, right? You're not playing on Stadia. Like, who are you playing with?
And like you already got the experience 2 months ago. So like what are you renting? What you're getting is a whole bunch of lag. Because it
Yeah.
depends on where you're gonna be at and how you're gonna play it. Okay, Football Manager 2020. Don't nobody really play that. If you can barely manage
Not
your
in
own life,
America.
what makes you think that you can manage
I mean,
a funny football team?
I mean, it's a like it's really big in Europe, right? Like the Football Manager. I think honestly, I think this game is on here because Phil Harrison is a huge soccer fan. He actually left the video game industry to. I think I remember this correctly. He left the video game industry for a couple years to run a soccer club in Europe somewhere. Because he loves soccer, right? And I think his love of soccer is why Football Manager is on here.
Good night. Grid 2019. People played at other places. Okay, Guilt is doing good. Got a 70 on Metacritic, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that screams like a game that is a timed exclusive and will be available on Apple Arcade at some point, or Switch, or Game Pass, or you know what I mean? Like it's going to be available everywhere.
PS Now. Yeah, they said the game is not long. They said it's really short. Okay, Just Dance 2020. People are going to be buying that on Wii. Trust me.
Wait, by the way, this was a story last week that we missed because we didn't record last week. Did you see that Just Dance 2020 on Wii outsold the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions combined?
Wow.
Yeah. I forget where I read that, but I read that it sold more on Wii than the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions.
Did Switch sell better than the Wii?
I don't know. It didn't say anything about the Switch version. It just was somebody was making fun of the Wii versions outselling.
Wow. Okay. I don't know too much about Kai, so that might be a good exclusive. Metro Exodus. This is insane. How in the world does Google Stadia have Metro Exodus and Steam won't get it until next year?
Because the Epic Games is PC exclusive. Metro Exodus is PC exclusive, and Stadia is being positioned as a console, not as PC. So I think that's the workaround.
Even though that is working on the PC.
Well, technically, it's a quote Google data center. It's not a PC. It's just a server. So, yep.
Okay.
Hey man, I'm just explaining it. I listened to Ryan McCaffrey's Unfiltered with Phil Harrison today, man. It was his it's funny. He was supposed to interview him about Google Stadia, and only the last 8 minutes of the hour and 15-minute interview was about Stadia. So
dang.
I mean, I know he kind of goes through their history in the video game industry and stuff, and the last 20 or 30 minutes of the interview are supposed to be about their product that they're promoting. No, it was 8 minutes.
Wow. Mortal Kombat 11. You played it everywhere. You see that Evo, people playing it on Switch probably. NBA 2K20 is a joke because of their microtransaction problems.
Still the best-selling game of the year.
They have no choice. That's the only basketball game people can play. Rage 2, you now just got it on Xbox Game Pass. It didn't really do too much when it came out. You pretty much could live within 8 to 9 hours if you go straight through the campaign. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and the regular Tomb Raider. If you didn't play those games on the other,
they're all on Game Pass.
All on Game Pass. What makes you think playing it on Stadia is going to be any better? Red Dead Redemption 2, the game barely ran on Rockstar's launch thing. People already got their feel of the game. I mean, all these games. That's another divisive game.
The problem
because it's too slow.
The problem is all these games are old, right?
Yeah.
It's just all of these games are old. They've all been out. I mean, except for the rest of the games coming in quote 2019. Like all these games have been out for longer than 3 or 6 months, right? Like that. And as somebody who has Game Pass, right? Like, would you rather pay $1 for your first 3 months of Game Pass right now and get probably 75% of these games for $1? Or
let's say go with Game Pass, pay the stuff for $1 and not deal with any of the lag or any problems that Stadia is giving.
Or do you want to pay $130 for the service, $10 a month, and then pay for the game on top of that? Like,
and then you can't keep the game.
Yeah.
So if their service go down, you don't have the game no more.
And like I know Google Stadia is like pushing $130 is like relatively cheap to get into this, right? But like you go look at these Black Friday deals for Xbox One S, right? Like the all digital edition of Xbox One S with like it's something like 3 months of Game Pass, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon, and I think it's something else pretty big. I think it's like Halo 5 or something, or Master Chief Collection or something. Is like $150. $150. That's $20 more than this.
Exactly.
With 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
Like and then not everybody got their system. Not everything is doing 4K 60 frames per second. People are trying it we're seeing the reviews and everything, and that's been mixed. And it was just like, this is the stuff that I fear when people are delivering all of this. And that's why I even have some doubts with PS5 and with Scarlet to doing 4K 60 frames per second. That stuff is not going to sell anybody if it don't work out the box.
Yeah. And like it's just with speaking of working out of the box, like half of it doesn't work out of the box. Like I feel like this is their second beta test.
Yes.
Like I feel like this is their second beta test, and they're charging people to beta test their product.
Yes.
And I'm not like trying to be mean about it. Like that's just what it feels like.
And you are Google. You have enough money where everybody who did a pre-order should have got it today. Got it Tuesday. Why are you picking and choosing on who gets one?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, if you pay for it, like people who paid $130 for it can't play it on launch day because they're quote rolling out their codes so they don't overload their servers. Like,
or you wasn't first in line to get one.
I'm sorry, but that's a bunch of BS. Like, if you pay for something, you should be able to use it, right? Like that's like me paying for Game Pass and not being able to download games off of Game Pass. Yes. That's kind of, I don't know, man. It's just like the idea. I'm not mad at the idea of Stadia. I think Stadia's tech is extremely interesting and fascinating, and I honestly think in 10 years that will probably be the future of games for the most part. And but I think the way that Xbox is doing it is way smarter than the way that Stadia is doing it, because you have options. You can just based on what Jesse's been playing, how he's been playing it, right? Like, you can stream the games, and by next year, you'll be able to stream the games off Game Pass, or you can stream the games from your Xbox to your phone, or you can download the games to your Xbox and play it through your Xbox, right? Like, you have so many different options to play the games. Like,
yes,
it's almost confusing how many options there are to play your Xbox games, whereas like Stadia has one goal and one way to play the games, and even that messaging is confusing, right? Which is not good when your only message and the only goal of your product is confusing to your consumers.
Literally go and watch everything about Stadia from the time of its reveal until now, and just look at all the changes that happened to me. Listen to all the wording that they deliver, all the marketing that they promised.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and listen to old episodes of the NX show or Nerds Gone Rogue or whatever I was talking about it on, right? Like, I thought the idea of Stadia was cool. Like I was positive. I was trying to be positive about it, right, when it was announced, you know. But just the more I see of what's happening, and the controller not even being wireless unless you have a Chromecast to start, like
what's the purpose of that?
Like why can't I just use the controller wirelessly? You know, like why not? You know, like that's just like I understand the controller has to connect to Wi-Fi and stuff to work with your Stadia, but like, why can't I just connect it to my Wi-Fi and use it wirelessly? You know what I mean? Like that's supposed to be their main feature, and it doesn't work.
Like so, I'm sorry, Sam. I'm raging, not raging. I'm voicing my frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both are, you know, like because like this concept of Stadia is a cool idea, right? Like when OnLive was announced, what, like a decade ago, that was an interesting, cool idea, right? When Gaikai was doing the same thing that OnLive was doing, and now PlayStation, you know, when Sony bought Gaikai and now it's PlayStation Now, like that tech is super interesting and super cool. And like I want to be able to, like, if I purchase a game, like if I'm playing on Xbox and I'm waiting for the game to download, like if I could just stream the game while it's downloading in the background and just play it while it's downloading, like that concept is cool. Or like streaming a demo is cool. Or streaming it to my phone when I can't use my Xbox is cool, right? But like, it's just weird because like you have to, like, they still haven't even gotten the message out. To be clear, like you're paying $10 a month to use the service, but people still think it's Netflix for games.
And it's not.
It's not. It's the same as Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, where you get like one free game a month, and it's probably going to be an indie game or a smaller game or an old game, right?
Right.
And you still have to pay for the games, and all those games
price.
All those games are full price, where you can get them for way cheaper on Xbox or PlayStation, and you don't
you get them on flash sales. You can get them.
And if Google ends up like folding Stadia, you don't get those games now.
Right. And
now, if you buy like a Ubisoft game, I'm sure they will have a PC transfers thing, the way that, you know, Bungie did for Destiny, transferring it from Battle.net to Steam, right? Like I'm sure if you buy a Ubisoft game, you can be like, oh, I bought it on Stadia, and they'll say, oh, okay, well, Stadia didn't work out, so you can play it on Steam, right? Like I'm sure that kind of thing will happen. But what about these other games? You know? And
it to me, if Google folds this, it's going to be up to the community to keep this thing running.
Yeah.
It's going to be people who are going to have servers, who are going to really take this technology and literally show Google, this is what you should have done. And we have outsmarted you. Now we got this thing running. Let's see how we can pirate games. Let's see how we can put Nintendo, Sony, PlayStation, some AO games and whatever. Like they're going to show Google what they should have done, or what they could have done, and everything. Because now they're in this entertainment business that they so were ready that they thought they could just jump in. They now got to stay in it and support it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to change their policy, saying that, hey, if you bought your game on Stadia, it's yours.
Yeah,
we're going to get rid of you, put in this much money, or we're going to straight up refund you because you bought this game and now you can't play, because we are not going to support this. Like Google cannot give up on this. They got 2 years to just start using, really investing in, giving all the promises that they made with this game. I mean, with this console, if you want to call it that. Because yes, with Switch, with Scarlet, with PS5 being out, the amount of entertainment is going to be varied, and is really going to depend on where people are going to go for their games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
on top of Steam and Epic.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I think Stadia is really interesting. The idea of it. I just don't think they should have waited till it was ready, right? They should have this feels like they're forcing out a product to have something for holiday. And I think they're just missing it because, it's
I'm going to tell you like this: it's PS3 all over again.
I mean, I don't even think it's that good. I think it's way worse than that. Like it's just man. It's hard.
So just to give some people kind of a little reference wise, I said it's the PS3 over again. When PS3 came out, it was $600 some, and there was an interview with I cannot think of his name at the time. He did an interview with EGM, and I think he was talking to Dan Shu, who was editor in chief of it. And so the guy mentioned that if you go to a store now, you can't find any PlayStation 3s. And Dan Shu showed them multiple pictures of Best Buy, Target, whatever, stacks of PS3s still standing there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the Stadia controller is going like I don't know. I know what you're saying, and I want. It's weird because I want Stadia to succeed because I think that tech that they're using is very important for the future of games, right? And yes. I'm one of those people who like, if I don't buy the game physically, I at least want to be able to download it and have it on my hard drive, right? But the tech that they're using to stream the game, where I can stream the game to my phone or to a laptop when I'm not at home, or on my, like, if I could leave my Xbox hooked up in the living room and stream it to my desktop in here and be able to stream that way, right, without unhooking everything and hooking it back up and making sure everything works, right? Like, if I could just do that, like, the streaming aspect of it is so convenient and so smart. I just feel like Microsoft and even Sony probably next gen are going to play it way smarter, where like, even Sony now with PlayStation Now, right, you can download PS2 and PS4 games from the service, and them giving you options makes those two platforms infinitely stronger than Stadia. So
yes,
that's my final thought on it. You want to say anything else about it?
I think it's a waste of money. Google needs to figure out what they're going to do with this. And if you got enough money to go get a console or even go get a Switch, go get one. Go play The Witcher 3. Go play not Overwatch 2. Go play some of the old games that got ported to Nintendo, to Switch, that people thought shouldn't work, and then enjoy and be fascinated by how well it works. You want to play? You want to play Youngbloods? That might be one of your best options.
Stadia needed a Super Mario World or a Halo or a Gears of War to launch with, right? They needed that launch title to make that statement and say, hey, we are here, we're serious. Even if it's not like, they should have paid, even if they don't have like a first party game ready, they should have paid a developer to have an exclusive ready for launch. Like the way that Xbox One had Rise, right? Like they even if it wasn't, like, they needed that killer app, right? Not that Rise was a killer app for the Xbox One, but you know what I mean? Like they just needed that exclusive that was meant to sell the console at launch, along with a strong third party support. Because like the third party support's there, right? Like I feel like the lineup is like strong, right? Like I think the games that they have are strong. They just don't have like they're all old games, and they don't have a killer exclusive app.
anything from August until now should have been on Stadia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's going to wrap our discussion on Google Stadia. I feel like this is a really good episode of Pow Block, Ed. I feel like our discussions were good. I feel like the energy was there, at least on my end. You know, you always have the energy, but like I feel like the energy was there. I feel like our discussions were great. I really feel like Boss Rush being out there really gave us a big, like a shot of adrenaline for this show, right? Like I really do. And you know, outside of Boss Rush, I just, you know, I want to thank you personally for like sticking with me for like 5 or 6 years, however long we've been doing this. You know, like you've been a really good friend and a really good partner in this, and you know, it's like I said, it's been an interesting couple weeks for me personally, and you've kind of been there the whole way, and I really appreciate you and the amount of work that I kind of maybe pushed on you a little bit. I appreciate you, and what we're doing is something special, and I really appreciate you, Ed.
Oh, thank you.
You're one of my best friends, and you know,
you're my bro. Him, I gotta always have your back.
So, yeah, this was I really enjoyed this episode. I'm excited for our future. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome time for us. So, let's see. You can follow Boss Rush Games on Twitter at boss_rush_games. That's going to be a mouthful to say every week. You can follow us on Instagram at Boss Rush Games. You can join our Facebook group. You can visit our website at bossrushgames.com. Like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of info coming out about what we're doing and what we're going to try to do, and hopefully you guys are along for the ride, whether you're whether you support us by listening or watching the show, or you know, that kind of thing. You can find Nintendo Pow Block every Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time on your podcast service of choice, on Spotify, and on youtube.com/bossrushgames. That was the other one I meant to say. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode, and you can find Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. I do apologize to everybody why I haven't released any new episodes or anything. I literally have been sick in a sense, as in like I had red eye, my nose been running, so I haven't been able to podcast. But I'm feeling better, and so new episodes will finally be rolling out. So hopefully you guys will stick with it, and you guys will be able to check it out and everything. And yes, everybody, like I said, if you get a chance to see this before Boss Rush Games podcast, Optional Opinion is joining BRG, so it will be part of the network. So you guys will be able to check the episodes there too.
Yes. You can find me at CoreyHD713. I've been trying to play around with some stuff in terms of Twitter and stuff. Like I want to make sure everything is uniform, so I might be changing that in the near future. You can find me at CoreyHD on Instagram and Mixer. You can also find me on the newly renamed Boss Rush podcast with Ed and Ray and Jesse. You can follow us on Twitch and Mixer as well at Boss Rush Games Live. We're gonna hopefully start streaming our shows again within the next couple weeks. Yeah, that's exciting. Boss Rush Games Live. There is Boss Rush Games on there. That is not us. It is Boss Rush Games Live. So follow us there as well. And that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Pow Block. I want to thank everybody so much for watching and sticking with us for 172 episodes. We plan on doing way more, so stick around, and we will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!